Could you tell us more about the process, how you embodied the character, how you started working on that role?
Oh, it's so boring. But if you want to hear it, I can tell you the whole. You know, it's like a big souffle or a stew. You throw some potatoes and some carrots in there, and it's kind of, you work with amazing dialect coach like Liz Himmelstein, who worked with Gary Oldman and Margot, and Terry Knickerbocker, my acting coach. And I did some ride-alongs with some cops, Josh McMullen in Southern Missouri. Liz Himmelstein taped 2 cops, actually. There was a guy named Deemer in LA. I did a ride-along with him, and I met with a skin graft doctor who introduced me to some burn victims, actually. I mean, but the thing is, that's if you have luxury, the luxury of time, you know, which you don't always have for a part. And then I worked with Martin, but sometimes you get a part and you only have a week or a couple days to prepare. I heard that Jeremy Renner only had 4 days to prepare to play Jeffrey Dahmer, which is a lot if you're playing Jeffrey Dahmer, you know? So I had the advantage that I had like 2 or 3 months, and so I got to indulge in all this research, and so it was a lot of fun. So that's a long answer to your short question.
We're going to go to 59 and then 134.
Matt Fagerholm, RogerEbert.com.
Hey.
You said a wonderful thing about the arc of your character being Barney Fife going into Travis Bickle.
Yes.
I'd love to ask, in any way, was Barney Fife and the great Don Knotts any inspiration to you as an actor throughout your career?
Absolutely. I mean, I mean that when I say Barney Fife. And, you know, the town of Ebbing is very much like Mayberry, and Woody Harrelson's character is very much like the Andy Griffith character. And in fact, I could be wrong about this, check your facts, but I think we shot in Silva, North Carolina, and I think Mayberry was shot there, but I could be wrong about that. But, you know, the goofiness of Barney Fife, the kind of hapless thing of Barney Fife, and then his transition into somebody else was just sort of, Travis Bickle was kind of Barney Fife to Travis Bickle was kind of a generalization, but it's a lot more complicated than that, obviously, but, you know, yeah.
We're going over to 134 and then 16 in the back.
Hey, Sam, over here. Other side.
Hey, oh,
There you go.
To your left in the back.
okay, hey,
So
hey.
you dedicated your win to Phil Hoffman, and I would just.
Oh, you caught that, good.
We could hear it. We could hear
You
it.
heard that?
Yes.
Because I thought the music was going.
Yep.
Oh, good, I'm glad you heard that, good.
So I'm curious, like, as a friend and as a colleague, tell me, you know, what he meant to you, how he inspired you.
Well, I guess you want to start making me cry, but he was an old friend of mine, and he directed me in a play at the Public Theater, and he was very close to me, and he was an inspiration to all of my peers, you know, people like Jeffrey Wright, Billy Crudup, Liev Schreiber, everybody. Mark Ruffalo, Josh Brolin, I mean, whoever was in my age range, Phil Hoffman was the guy. And he was a great director, and he believed in doing theater. In fact, he vowed to do a play a year, which I don't know if he got to do, but because he was very busy doing movies. But he was a great inspiration and a great theater director. And I don't know if anybody knows, he was a bit of a jock. He was a wrestler, and he played basketball, and he inspired me. And I could go on for an hour about Phil Hoffman. Philip Seymour Hoffman was a good friend, and he was a huge inspiration on me. Yeah.
Thank you.
We're going to 16, then we'll come to 198.
Sam in the back. To your
In the back
right.
to your right.
To your
Okay,
right.
thanks. Okay, hey.
Hey, I'm Wayne for Latin America. How you doing? You know, I stopped counting at 21 the awards that you won before the Academy Awards. So did you count them at all?
I'm sorry,
And
wait, say one more time?
I stopped counting at 21 the
Yeah.
awards that you won. So did you count them at all? And did you feel that those were like billboards saying, Sam, you're going to win the Oscars now?
No, but that sounds like a really cool dream. But no.
We're going over to 198, and then I'm going to have to wrap it up, so 211.
What's up, Sam? How's
Hey,
it
what's
going?
up, man?
Stephen Byrne from RT2 FM
Hey, man.
Ireland. Obviously, very.
I like your hair, dude.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much. Obviously, very proud of Martin because we hail from Ireland. So
Saoirse.
And Saoirse as well. Cartoon salute tonight. We've got
Colin and in Bruges, yeah.
loads, exactly. As a frequent collaborator, obviously now of Martin, what is it about him that makes him such a great artist?
Well, you know, Martin says that, you know, you couldn't set this in Ireland or England but I actually think you could set this movie in almost any working class town and all over the world. But he disagrees with that. But I think it could be anywhere almost. But there is obviously something very timely about it now, what's going on in this country, you know. Yeah.
And we're going to wrap it up right here with 211.
Hi, James Blue.
Hey, how
from
you doing?
PBS NewsHour.
Hey.
There's been some criticism about the film,
Yes.
specifically as it relates to African portrayal and the relationships of African Americans. Can
Yes.
you talk about specifically your character and whether you take that criticism on, or is that how you dealt with it and your sense of that?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a complicated issue, but I mean, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wrote an article that was really amazing, sort of defending the movie as far as that goes, and it was really eloquent. I didn't realize he's like a cultural professor, which I didn't know, in addition to being like a basketball icon. And that was a great article that articulated everything. And I think for me, you know, the whole thing is that, you know, they have a lot of work to do, the Mildred and Dixon. It's not like they're like all of a sudden redeemed at the end of the movie. They have, you know, a lot of work to do. And maybe some therapy, you know. It's an ongoing thing, you know. So, and it's also it's a movie, and it's a dark fairy tale of some sorts, and so it's like it's not necessarily in real life. We probably would have gone to prison, both of our characters. So, you know, that's sort of how I see it.
Thank you so much and congratulations.
Thanks a lot.